12 years maybe, or since they started putting beers in 18 packs.
Kim,
They don't sell it
have you
all
dyed your hair or?
Did you see all
They
the
don't
gray?
sell it all the
Oh,
time.
I colored mine the other day. Cut it.
You did?
Myself,
You should go to the 30s,
at
like
home,
my
because I
son
had like
Stevie
4
used to
boxes
do.
of stuff.
But he don't do it.
And then, I did nails for him years, so my
7 or 8
nails
years
have been.
now.
Good for
Yeah,
him.
no. No nails.
But he had to.
Today,
because
no
how
makeup.
he
I
goes
could have
through a
bootlegged you
35.
some nails.
I don't care about that.
Them were the good days.
He did
Is
all
what
the
it
work
is.
himself, too. But anyway, he doesn't do that now. But saving some money to you. Naturally.
Yes.
Hey Kim, I never got anything on my messenger on the meetings.
You didn't get a board packet or anything?
All I got was these two guys' names where you communicated with them. I don't know why it come on mine, but I didn't get a board packet.
Well, I know you.
I got mine.
I got mine.
I didn't for some, I don't know.
It would have been a little before those communications.
Yeah,
you know.
I just,
I
But
got
you
so
know,
I
you
got
said
mine.
you would send
I got it.
I wonder if
the
you're
the bills and stuff. Well, I didn't get any of that.
I didn't send the check register because they're just.
That's okay.
There's not even a page.
But
in
I
there.
got that information, the first one you sent.
Did you get the packet with the agenda? I wonder if your iPad is having trouble with PDF files.
I don't know.
well, that one time I didn't get one. The PDF didn't come through on my phone, but it came through on my big computer, and I don't have a clue why. You know,
Wonder if they're just too large to send
it might
to your
be.
phones.
Well, I got an iPhone, and
Oh, so it shouldn't.
the yeah, it came through on my phone, but it didn't come through on my big computer, which was like, why did that happen? You know, I was on there. You know, I thought I'd get it at the desktop, and
Yeah,
because it's
I
so
was
much
thinking you
bigger.
said the opposite.
No, it was just in. So I went and checked my phone. It was on my phone.
Well, I got that iPad, you know, and I open it every morning and look
Yeah.
and see what messages and things I got. And I did get these two guys' name.
Confirmation.
They come, you know,
Mhm.
and then I said, well, that's the same. Yeah, that's good. But
So
then that was
weird.
it. So maybe it's my iPad.
You maybe need. I wonder if you need some updates or like some file cleaning or something.
Yeah, I was just gonna say some files removed. It's not, maybe not bringing more files in. Cause I know my emails will do that if I don't clean them out.
Well,
They
I-
won't allow any more to come in.
I go through mine all the
But
time.
you got your emails because you would have got these guys' response.
I'm
I
just
don't know.
wondering because the
Unless
PDF is
it was-
on there. And
But
it's
anyway,
just
I
too
erased
much.
big.
all that stuff.
Mhm.
Is that right, Joe? After I erase it or, you know, trash it, it goes away. But it's still stored someplace, isn't it?
Yeah, but that should help you still get
Yeah.
your stuff.
Because I trash all,
Mhm.
about once a week I go through, trash,
And do you
I
clean
don't
out?
want to
Then
eat
do you empty
Right.
your trash?
you know.
Yeah, do you empty your trash at all?
Yes, I've done that, yeah. I go right on through the whole list.
But
And,
some of them automatically empty the trash after 30 days, or you can set that too. So it's hard to say.
Yeah. Very
well,
smart.
anyway.
All right,
Keep my eye on it.
Oh my gosh, we're way off. It's 10:30. I'm ready to leave.
we are
Five after.
Pardon me?
we're live so people can see and comment. So whenever you want to start, we can start.
Okay, what time is it?
5 after 9.
Oh, let's
Let's do it.
pledge allegiance, stand for the pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Don't type it.
Well, I didn't get to the business.
Everything is individual.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
No.
None? Okay, did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes? Is there any questions on the minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay,
Second.
now we'll go,
Well,
Unanimous or not?
oh, unanimous,
it would be better, I think, if everyone said yes, so I can start
yes,
putting yes. Okay, Dick, you're good.
okay, yes.
Yes, Kim.
Bill?
Yep.
Alright.
How's that? Financial report. Number 1, fund balance report.
Our beginning cash balance is $1,153,272.06. Our deposits are very normal, totaling $567,400.57. Same with charges, nothing out of the ordinary, totaling $622,851.40. Our ending cash balance is $1,097,821.23. Our deposits are very normal, totaling.
Okay. Are there any questions on that for anybody?
Nope. I'm good.
Okay. Okay, now it's time for public comment.
How
Yeah,
about
do
the,
accounts
yeah,
payable.
Bill, we approve the bills, please?
Where's that? Oh, we didn't do the, no? I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You gotta get back in the swing of things.
Okay. Yeah, I put it down there, so, well, yeah.
Is the laser attachment for one of the machines
Yes.
grader
Excavator
or excavator? Oh, okay. For
for ditching and
the
stuff.
ditch grade.
Yep.
I didn't know if it was
I meant to ask.
modernizing a grader. So.
I meant to ask and I forgot.
Oh, that's right.
I was gonna put it
I
on
just,
here.
Curious.
What is that K&K Systems
Those were for 2 arrow boards.
arrow boards? Okay.
For like traffic, like light up arrow boards.
Yeah.
So you can do it for like lane closures or I don't know, construction projects.
We use it for like our AMZ when we're doing a
Okay.
closure, crack sealing, and stuff like that.
Traffic control arrow boards.
Yeah.
We never, we bought them before then, evidently.
No, I don't believe like this. I think our other ones are attached to a trailer or a truck, and these
Right.
ones are pull behind. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Self-contained.
Okay, I just wondered what those were, all right. And I see we're doing the Vandecar Bridge,
That's been ongoing.
that's ongoing, and this,
That's the engineering firm, so that's still ongoing with them.
okay, then we got the grant going, we got that, okay, I have no questions on that.
One question, Kim.
Yes.
John Sandel, is that for oil lubricants and stuff?
It
the
is for a
shop?
cleaner.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I seen a personal name and an even number of 500, just brought attention to it. And I know he used to provide that type of stuff.
Yes. It is for like some kind of a very strong cleaner we get from him.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Support.
Support.
Aye.
So I need Tim.
I support.
Okay. All right.
Okay, can we move on now to public comment? No public
So-
comment?
Yeah, there will be a delay, so
Oh.
I would say if anybody from the public wants to comment,
I
that they
see.
can comment at any time during our meeting, and we'll pause to take any
Okay.
questions, so. Good idea.
Okay, so we'll just continue and then,
If something pops
if
up,
there's any questions, is that what?
yeah,
Okay.
They just type them in, is that?
yeah, there's a live
Oh, yeah,
chat screen on the
I
side.
see, okay. Old and continuing business, number 1, 2020 budget,
Oh,
potential cuts, and this was tabled the last time.
yes. So you have in your folders, and I really don't know how to put it any other way, but
Yeah,
you have some information, and you're gonna kind of just have to dig because there's a lot on this. So you have a packet that I put together that says, it says OB number 1 and NB number 5.
yeah, 1 and 5, yeah.
Looks like this.
Mhm.
And then have no other way to say it except our money's getting cut.
Pardon me?
Our money is getting cut.
I figured it would.
Mhm.
I figured it would.
And do they have a projected amount, percentage?
So
Yes.
far, yes.
How much, eh?
It should be about 500,000-ish. I mean, literally, it's like 474
Yeah,
and change, but let's just round up to
And
5.
that's just for fiscal year 2020,
Correct. But they have given us numbers for 21 and 22.
which are,
It is approximately,
oh, I know it's gonna hurt. Found you.
let me just tell you. So for fiscal year 21,
Mhm.
it's gonna be, and again, this is an estimation.
For 21 you're talking.
Yes, and this is from MDOT.
Yep.
It'll be approximate reduction of 4.6% reduction. And for 2020.
which is 4.6% means what in real dollars?
So it'll be a reduction of, now I'm
In this packet.
ballparking it.
Which one?
Where's that at? I didn't see that. Oh, this,
NB number
this
5.
page,
Yep.
sir?
I think this
Yeah.
one.
Yep, the one Karen
This one,
has.
Yeah.
Right up
So
here,
if you
it
go
says
to
new
the-
business number 5.
Go to the 5th page.
It's not until I can find it. I don't see it.
There's so much information. I tried to make it as clean
Probably
as
your next
possible.
one there. Nope.
Well, it's here someplace.
Okay, I got
She
you.
highlighted
I got
Claire.
you. I got you.
Mhm.
Did you say page 5, Dwayne?
Yeah, like the 5th page
So I
in.
guess what I'm trying to get to is,
Oh, I got it. This is that one.
Yep.
it's all big numbers and big money, but what is our reduction per year? I mean, we got 500K in 2020, so we know we gotta make adjustments. In 2021, we got how many K?
68, 71.
420,000.
Okay, so a little less than 2020.
And then 22, it's a little less again. It's like 3.9.
Okay, so now we know we're
We're gonna-
$1.2 million in the next 3 years that we gotta make adjustments for.
But again, this is an estimate.
I understand.
Yeah.
And, you know, I want to be sure to reiterate, last year, we were told that we were gonna be getting all this extra money and we're gonna spend,
Yeah.
I
spend.
remember that.
Right.
And that, yes, that extra money came in, but what happened in the same little token that wasn't given to you was they were taking money away because they overestimated.
Exactly.
So I can only
So we're,
tell you,
we have a fund balance, pretty healthy fund balance, so we're gonna make
Yeah.
adjustments for 500K and then we'll see how it's all gonna shake out, cause there's gonna be differentials all the way, right?
Sure.
At the end of the year, there's gonna be an adjustment, like Kim said, and they're gonna like take away from here and there and whatever, so.
well, it is currently being reduced already, just
I
so you
understand.
know.
And
So
we
we,
know.
We're coming
Yes.
in a wash, you know, it's not,
Mhm.
we just gotta look for it.
So we've already put a reduction, we've already reduced the budget.
Okay.
We're doing it now.
Okay.
Our budget is, you know, we can do it as we go. March came in and it's already reduced.
Uh-huh.
So Dwayne and I we've already talked, we've discussed it, and we're working on it now.
So you just take it as it comes. Yeah.
So we've already put the reduced number in. We reduced the budget by like 470, the actual number, 474.
So Dwayne, you're on top of this.
Yes.
That's all we need. Let's go. Keep moving.
Pardon me?
Keep moving.
Okay.
But I think it's important to be aware
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
because
yeah.
you may
Oh,
be,
yeah.
you may be receiving telephone calls that maybe we wouldn't be, that when things are cut and people aren't happy,
It's just part of the deal.
Mhm.
yes, so. Mhm.
I think they're overestimating a little bit too. I think their reduction's not gonna be as bad as they.
It is possible.
Well,
From what I'm seeing on my road and on the freeway behind my house, people aren't slowing down. They're still running just as much as they ever was.
Yeah, but then,
You know,
but I've noticed though, there's hardly any traffic anymore.
on my road, it's terrible.
Is it?
I've never seen so many people up here my whole life.
Me neither.
Oh my gosh, my son works
Is that
at
a fact?
Do It Center and they did the second
Yeah,
highest
you know,
people on Saturday than they've had.
I think
Did
now.
Jeff tell you that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think March
If you
and
get out on
April
the
we'll
freeway,
see
you
it.
don't see it.
Right.
it's not as much on
The
the
first-
freeway, but I
first
think
couple
people are
months,
just
but-
out wherever they can
They're
go.
on the roll now.
We
Right
know,
now.
we know what we got looking at us, so we're gonna adjust.
And just so you know, I've never had this kind of a relationship, so it's very appreciated.
So we're good.
Now,
Yeah.
relationship, are you talking about marriage counseling?
No. We talk about counseling all the time, but I think we
Right.
pretty much work together very well.
Right.
All of us. So.
Thank you.
So about every month, then we're gonna have to look for a reduction probably.
Yes.
Then you can bring us up to date at every meeting.
Every meeting I'll give you real numbers. They're live numbers, they are what they are.
Okay.
And Dwayne and I, if need be, talk daily about numbers. So
Okay.
we are on.
That's good. Gravel projects for 2019, that's a priority.
Do you wanna lead it or you want me to?
What do you got in that, Dwayne?
Nothing's changed from the priority
Okay,
that we had gone over last time.
yeah,
I think the big thing with, or I'm sorry, was it 2019?
2019
Yes,
is,
so the 2019, like priority 1 and 2 that were
Yeah.
From last year.
What do we want to talk about that?
So, in our minutes, we have a motion that was made by the board to approve priority 1 and 2 gravel projects.
gravel, yeah,
That has changed. You know, some townships canceled, some townships came to Dwayne and said, let's change priority 2 or 3, and we would like to go with this project.
Okay.
Okay, but it's all driven by the townships at their discretion, correct? So
Correct.
every change that was made was by the townships.
Yeah.
With Dwayne, yes.
With the
Correct,
Okay,
yeah.
so I'm
So
good
we
with
just have to reevaluate that motion.
I would just, you'll have to decide how you want to do the motion, but basically changing the motion, the old motion isn't correct.
that. Okay,
anymore.
so we're gonna modify that, change it, and get it legal in the minutes.
Yes,
Well,
for
that's-
Dwayne to have
Permission to go
permission
forward.
to do what he is doing with the townships.
Okay, Dwayne, so tell us what you wanna do differently, just give us.
Give us some wording.
Because we're not aware of the old motion, so.
I
Yeah.
can-
Yeah, so these guys are up to date.
I can read it to you if you would like.
Yeah, would you do that?
Yep, so like, in short, it just says, let's get down to it was moved to award in the best interest of the road commission,
Mhm.
the gravel projects that were bid, and then priority 1,
Yeah.
which were the red, and that was Klaroski, Bass Lake, Harding, and Surrey, and then priority 2, which was Long Lake, Clarence, Cranberry, Lake of the Pines, and West Long Lake. And then if you remember, you had a couple townships then come in later and request changes on their priority list.
Okay,
So it basically was approving the bid, we've rebid, so that's fine, and then townships making changes.
okay, that's, all right,
Mm-hmm.
it's more understandable now, yeah,
Yes,
all right,
so
Are
they're,
the townships generally or completely happy with the way the conversations have transpired with you and the different township members?
Yes.
Is there any animosity or things that you feel we should know about?
No.
That's good.
Nope.
everybody pretty much understands the situation everybody's in, so.
Yeah, there's been a few changes as far as, and we went over that before.
Uh-huh,
Some of the Hamilton switched from Cranberry to Springwood, and Greenwood canceled the Clarence project.
yeah,
So, but the basic is these will get done first this year before we get into new ones.
Yeah.
And then at some point we may cut short depending on funding and then have to carry over, this year to next year. But
for next
these ones will get done.
So
The
you're feeling
carryovers
confident those
are
are getting done?
priority. They may just get shuffled around because we're kind of trying to be efficient as far as like right now we're ditching on Meredith grade, but we went and started pulling stumps in Frost Township. We already pulled stumps for, so we got kind of a
I see,
operation
I was just
going.
on Adams Road the other
They're
day.
doing
Adams,
a
yeah.
little bit on each one, whatever.
Yeah, so it may not look like it's like in specific order, but it's all gonna wash out
You're
in
in
the end.
stump mode, then you're in ditch mode, then you're in.
We're, and gravel mode's coming pretty soon, so.
Mhm. Getting this prep, getting it prepped.
So, on that note, we have all these projects, we were pushed back a month right off the get-go with this
Yep.
virus right now.
Right.
What's it doing to the project timeline? I mean, you had a pretty aggressive timeline earlier.
It got more aggressive,
You
but
got more
but
aggressive.
that, we may start nipping the bottom ones off, so.
Yeah, you plan. Yeah.
Mhm.
What do you need from me, Kim, as far as a motion?
Basically, just, I would say to give Dwayne, the permission
Okay,
to
so
work with the township, so that motion, if
I'll-
someone doesn't come back and say we,
I'll make
However you need
I'll
to
make a
word
motion
that.
that we update our previous discussion on project priorities and provide Dwayne with the discretion to work with the townships and work with the best interest of the road commission to get these projects completed.
I can second that.
You don't need a second, you got a second, okay?
okay, so then is everybody giving
Yes.
an order of a yes, Dick?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes.
Bill?
Very nicely ordered, yes.
We'll read it in the minutes.
Well, it's a good motion.
Yeah.
So second on there is Freeman Township. And
Yeah,
if Bill and Merle weren't here, but there was a town, experimental project on Ashford. It was like a 500-foot
Yes.
test
Yep.
strip.
Yes.
And I had emailed Alan and Dwayne about it, and they both feel that due to our money that should
So
just
Freeman
be cut
Ale?
right now.
Freeman
No, I'm sorry.
Township Ale?
Our app.
All right.
Okay,
Well,
Center.
we're gonna talk to Freeman Township as well.
okay.
okay,
So,
now that
I just didn't know if they were aware of
test
that.
strip, you say, oh,
I don't wanna do it this year.
Okay,
Is Freeman Township aware of that at this point?
that's
I
why they
haven't,
gotta contact.
so that's the
Forward on that,
idea,
but-
that you need a discussion on that, so you're not gonna do it.
I do not want to, no.
How much was that gonna cost us? About 5,000, wasn't it?
I was never
Around 5,000,
given any
6,000.
figures on that. So
I know we just
I thought
kinda-
it was more than that.
Was it?
I thought so. Wasn't it on here at one point, Kim?
No, I had never been given numbers on that.
But I think we were gonna share it with the township,
We were.
weren't we?
And how's our
50-50 split, but
Yeah.
you're looking at limestone and then chip
Yeah.
seal over it or something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
So it's gonna get
Expensive.
costly, yeah.
Okay.
Triple seal, like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he only wanna do like a half mile or 500,
500
feet or
feet.
something.
Oh, is that
It
right?
was
Yeah,
really-
it was
it was
just
really
for an
a-
experiment.
It was a test strip through
Mhm.
that slow ground, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
To see how it would hold up if it's something that
Yeah.
would provide us information going
yeah,
forward.
and he was willing to,
I talked to them about that when I was working here, about, doing the first chunk down to where they have the dump site.
Yeah,
Cause we did that over at Major Mountain, that held up for a long time until the trucks got too heavy in there. That was done years and years ago.
I remember that,
Yeah.
back then.
Low ground, I don't know if it'll work or not.
Is that a priority 1 or priority 2 project?
no, it was
No.
just kind of a
No,
It was an
thing.
add-on.
Yeah, it was an addition. We were just,
kind of a pipe.
Ale out
you
at
know,
Freeman said he was willing to go in on
So-
it. And
Experimental.
Yeah, he literally just came into a board meeting, discussed it, and said he would split it 50-50,
Mhm.
but that was,
I'm good with that.
Part-
I'm
Yeah.
good with
So
pushing
that's
it.
what you're,
As long as they
that's
don't
what
know.
you're thinking is then just to, not
Could
do
be
it
more
now.
flexible than.
And you've already
Oh, yeah.
notified the township and you're gonna
No,
wait
I
till
will.
after the meeting.
Alan and myself will, yeah.
Yeah, after this.
can I basically use the same wording as the one above? Is that okay with everybody?
Yes.
What's
yes.
that?
Just to discuss with the township and work in the best interest of the road commission.
Provide
Yes.
Dwayne the authority to work with the, for the best interest of
that's
the road
great.
commission, which he does, so
Let's
So
see
I'll
what
just
this
need
is.
someone to
I'll make the motion.
second,
I'll second it, Kim.
and then everybody,
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone can yell at me when I
Right.
Again,
2020 township map.
Okay, so
Let
what we
me get
need,
a little,
so what we need to discuss here is there was a motion made on April 17th
yeah,
and the motion was
Mhm.
move to suspend road commission in kind and match monies for Grant Township for 2019 and 2020. And then if you could pause for a minute till I find the next portion. On May 15th, Mr. Dysinger, Grant Township Supervisor, came in, discussed some concerns with the board. And then Tim, you had went to their board meeting the night before, and they had adopted a resolution asking our board to reconsider and reverse the decision and restore in-kind and matching funds for improvements on their local roads for 19 and 20.
Mhm.
Tim, you then discussed that you wanted to be sure that the road commission realigned construction and maintenance spending in townships in the township match program. After the board discussed that, then a motion was made and approved unanimously to reinstate the 2019 match and in-kind for Grant Township. 2019.
Right, so still, the question is now, is,
2019.
to give a 2-minute lecture on this is, we pulled up the sheets on the spends for the township, and there's a disproportionate amount of money spent in grant. And,
Yes,
and of course, Dan's been in here many times, and we talked to him, and it didn't matter, no concern. So anyway, we suspended the funds, because if you look at the sheet, which it's here, and we can get it to people, you know, we spend 0 in Sheridan, and we spend 0 in Arthur, and we spend 0 in Reading, and then we spend $1 million in grant. So that's why we did that.
yeah,
And I'm not saying that I'm not flexible, but I don't think we should have, it shouldn't be called Grant Township and the leftovers, is my opinion. We have a whole bunch of roads that need addressed, right? So that's why we did it. That was my rationale on it anyways. And then we reinstated the 19 because they had planned, and it really wasn't fair to the people of Grant to, so that's why we reinstated it 19.
Yeah.
Now here we're sitting on the 2020, and we have a little dilemma here because
well,
we suspended the match.
yeah.
So I don't know, I'm listening.
Can everyone look at the sheet here?
We are looking at it, yeah.
I have that spreadsheet if anybody wants to look at it.
Let me see that.
Or Tim, if you want to look at it.
This,
Yep, second, should be the second page. There should be a second page right there.
oh yeah, there
No,
is.
you're right, Merle.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Okay. So, for the, new 2020 gravel projects,
Mhm.
Adams Road was a joint venture with Grant and Hatton.
Yes.
That's right.
And we wanted to make
Okay,
sure
so that was, we're estimating 100,000 out of our money, and then 100,000 or 50 from Grant, 50 from Hatton.
Yeah.
Then there was Willow Road for
Willow.
Grant
Mhm.
was 38,000 us, 38 Grant. So those were the only two gravel projects for 2020, and then 2020 at the bottom, the
Yeah.
road construction monies.
Mhm.
Grant has Grant Avenue asphalt overlay, and then they had 3 chip seal projects. So our portion is 40, and his portion is 240,000.
On all the summation?
Yeah.
The combined.
Yeah.
So 40 and 240.
Correct.
Mhm.
So that's for 2020, Grant would be getting
2020, yeah.
about 120,000 from us for all that work.
How much is it?
Out of their pocket would be 240, 280, 330,000 from their pocket, and then 50,000 from Hatton because of the Adams combination project.
Yeah, right.
I think going forward, what we're talking about is just to make sure we keep this not, so it doesn't get out of hand like it did before.
Well, and that was the whole issue, is prior to,
Well, they just had a lot of money they wanted to spend, and
And
they got
I-
matched.
and
Well,
I
and-
understand that, but
There was some catering going on.
there were some things going on that I didn't like, obviously, all right, and that's why I stood up, you know, and I know it wasn't popular, and I know I'm in the Comb Over Chronicles all the time, and I'm good with that. But I do not think that we should improve roads from an article, because if we don't disproportionately spend in grant, are we gonna be in the paper? Yes. If we don't give them more than the other townships, we're gonna be in the paper. But somebody's gotta stand up and say no.
Well, that's Dan.
Yeah, that's his job too, but it's the other roads that are important to me is grant, so.
Well, for the overlays and chip seals, we've had Grant, Hayes, and Winterfield are the only 3 townships that want to do any work.
Yeah.
I was gonna
So-
ask, does anybody else apply for that money?
No, so each of those 3 are getting 40,000 from us, and then whatever the rest is under their. So Grant has more money, so he's gonna pick up more roads, but it's
Right.
actually it's
But
still
they're
only
spending-
costing us 40,000.
It's
Right.
not costing us anymore.
No.
Right.
Correct. So everyone's been offered a chance to participate.
Okay.
So whoever wanted to, we've put in the budget. And then on the gravel side, Willow's low on the list anyways, so I don't even know if we'll get to Willow. But
That is
also, it's been split 50-50, which is different from before where it was costing us a
Exactly. Yeah,
lot
it
of
is.
overhead.
That's what I-
So
Yes.
or really,
Yeah, because
that's-
we had so
that's the
much
best
money
way to
in
do
kind
that.
cost.
I was gonna just say that to an important note, what was happening in the past is those numbers were not being shared with you,
No.
Exactly.
and Dwayne's vision is completely different.
Yeah, I can see that.
So
yes.
I think out with the old and then with the new, and you'll be getting different projections. So.
Okay, so now I'm in agreement, if
That's
you're in
better
agreement with
understood.
this,
I am.
Okay, if Dwayne's in agreement with it, I'm gonna agree to make a new motion, but we're not yet.
I've written nothing.
Okay, not yet. Okay, we might just well open up a can of worms on this 6-ton weight limit nonsense.
On what?
The
6-ton weight limit.
Yeah.
I've had contractors calling me, Tim, what in that, whatever.
Yeah, I know.
So, I am not spending road commission money on a road commission road and having a township put a weight limit on it.
Because
It's for the county's, it's the county's road.
Mhm.
It's for commerce, that's our job, it's for commerce, so, in these contracts, in these new contracts, any overlays, any paving, I want a paragraph in that contract that says, if you put a weight limit on that road that's less than the county trunk line to inhibit commerce, that they pay us back every dime that the other townships put into that road, because it's wrong. It's wrong.
Because technically our trucks can't even go down it.
No,
Are they putting a 6-ton weight limit on all their blacktops?
well, not
all of them. I
it's
don't think.
it's growing, but see what happened is at first it was they're mad at the Amish, and they're mad at the Amish sawmills, and they're mad at the Northern Group, then they're mad at anybody that has duals, they're mad at the farmers, they're mad at oil and gas. We can't restrict commerce. So if I'm gonna put
We're
the
putting big money
county's
into it.
the county's
Yeah.
money into that
All the
road,
county's money.
we will set the weight limits.
Isn't there a standard? I mean, these are our roads.
Yes.
Yeah,
Isn't there a state standard on blacktop road weights? Can a township override a county's?
The
road?
township could.
Yeah.
Mhm.
they can. And they, yeah.
A
That's
township
what
can
happened.
put a weight limit on the road. They have that authority.
Yeah.
The township cannot
inhibit commerce. That is the issue. So I use myself as an example because I had to go down to Grant here a couple months ago. I talked about it,
Yeah.
and I wanted to get on this person's well because they had no water. And it said, well, there's a 6-ton weight limit on this road. Well, I'm over 6 ton. So I try to call, I come to the county, they don't know anything about it.
No.
I call the township, they don't answer the phone. How do you get there?
Well, just do it. I guess.
How do you get there? If you, I don't know, does Woods household have to call the township to get this refrigerator delivered to Five Lakes?
No.
Huh?
No,
No,
nor do you. No, it's a trash truck.
no.
So,
And I don't, I
Then-
mean, just let's use our words carefully. I mean,
Yes.
You're saying inhibit, prevent commerce.
Yeah.
There's alternatives. So there is, it could be deemed as a slight delay or, that's not the right word, inconvenience, but it's not prohibited. So let's be careful with the
Yeah,
words
we
we
got it.
choose. And that's like frost laws. Is that preventing or prohibiting commerce?
Absolutely.
Okay. So
Yeah.
And part of the thing that maybe not everybody's aware of, part of the discussion on the 6-ton, because I was involved in that a little bit.
You was.
And I'm at every meeting, so I hear what goes on, I hear the feedback. But we were also instrumental in succeeding in getting a special assessment for roads. And as a part of that, we were very clear that if it was passed, there would be weight limits put. And it had not been successful in the past, that people wanted the protection. If they're gonna invest the money, then they want some certain protections.
Well,
So
who
that's-
enforces those weight limits? We don't. Who enforces?
The board, the township has a few people that, but it's really, and people, they're given a warning, there's regular commerce going to a sawmill. It's like they have an option. They can go around, it might be an extra mile, maybe 2, whatever the number is, doesn't matter. But they're not prohibited from going to that sawmill or that business. They just have to go maybe a little different route that they may not choose to like.
It might be an extra mile or so.
So I think we just need to be careful on the words, and you're entitled to your opinion, and I understand where you're coming from and the argument that you have, but it doesn't. But I also see the township's perspective on trying to protect the roads with the investments that they've made and the special assessment that was passed as a result of that condition.
What roads do they put this on?
I can give you a map.
I'm just,
Yeah, there's a map.
are they local, primary?
Well, there's, for instance, primary road, Grant Avenue, for instance, that's just a local road, Well, there's road.
so I guess I need more explanation from you, Merle, because you were whatever, like, let's say, like, Woods household. Do they have to call the township to find out?
No.
But then you said people are out in the public that watch and give them a warning. Like, do they pick and choose?
No.
Oh, Woods truck's coming or this one's coming?
It's designed
Like how, I guess
the heavy
it's so gray. I want more black and white.
Well, I guess if you read the ordinance,
I haven't.
that'd be.
Well,
I mean,
see,
it was,
that's
yeah,
I knew they had.
but it still
implemented
seems
it.
gray to me. I know it's been
But it-
explained to us a few
No.
times.
I haven't read
think
the
reading
ordinance.
the ordinance would help.
I heard what people are, like, our dump trucks couldn't run any of the roads.
That's just it.
I mean, we'd be overweight everywhere.
They're all local roads
Again,
that are.
I would read the ordinance.
Oh,
If you're not
I'm
familiar with the
saying, yeah,
ordinance,
right.
then I think we're pretty much talking.
Yeah,
in
right.
circles.
How do we get the ordinance?
Should be on the website.
Request it from the
It is not
supervisor.
on their website.
Oh, it is?
See, that's
No.
pretty new. The
Yeah.
website, they just, it's very.
Can you
it's
get
in
us a
its
copy,
infancy.
Merle?
Just request one from Dan. Do you have Dan's email?
So Merle, you're saying that
We should.
it doesn't inhibit any commerce. So if I need to get to point A, I can get to point A if I have to get to point A.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's my problem. It's a county road.
So yes, you can. So therefore, it's not inhibiting, right?
Well, now let me ask you this. So you're saying it's not inhibiting, but if I want to get to, if Grandma Rose over there needs a driveway culvert or driveway washed out, and I'm an excavator and I want to put in a new culvert in the driveway, yes, I can get there, but I have to go through the township, and how long does that take? How do I do that?
Phone call.
I called them when I was trying to get down to Grant Township.
Yeah,
There
what
was
do you-
nobody
what
there.
was the
No one was there.
response?
No one was there.
Is there a special number?
Well, I
Yeah,
just
look
go
on the
there.
website.
I just go.
I did look on the
I did.
website and
That's
there's
the
nothing.
ordinance for the phone number.
They put those signs on.
Wait, let
I
me
can
phone.
understand.
A weight, like, is there a special weight
Yeah.
limit phone number? Because when I
Yes.
pulled up their website, nothing was there.
Yeah.
And I don't know
Maybe
when
that was, okay.
I mean, again, it was just launched.
Maybe when I looked, that was the case.
Within a few months ago, and I know they're still working.
Cause
on it.
that was just a couple months ago, I know you had to go down, well, it was this winter.
Yeah, and I've had numerous calls from
Yeah.
contractors all
Just
over.
like with the road commission now, we told them years ago when this started, that we don't have any, we're not gonna police it, we're not gonna, it's not
What are
our
those
business.
same
So they
people-
went on their own to do that, and I guess the only thing we helped them with, maybe some signposts or something.
I mean, I guess it's what do those same contractors do during frost laws?
Well, you have to shut down. We all shut down during frost laws. Do we
You
have to?
shut down or go a different route where you're not.
Well,
Like,
some-
Limited loads.
A lot of times you can't get to where you're going and they just have to wait. Now, if they're without
Yeah,
water,
cross
like
laws is a different
in
thing.
my situation, if they're without water, then you come to the county and you try to get in there somehow.
Right.
And everybody's in agreement.
Yeah, exactly.
Go in early when it's frozen, whatever.
That's what we do. Yeah,
They're wonderful to work with people.
by 11 a.m. or so, you gotta be out of there, yeah. We've done that for years.
And if it's an emergency, you can go to the county and they can give you,
Variance or whatever.
something else.
Yeah, so that you
Because
can,
it's an emergency.
You can get there if you have to get there, but everybody shuts down during frost laws, right?
No.
They try to. I mean, they
Trash is still hauled.
Well, it's a essential service.
yeah, that's still.
You just run lighter.
But they run it like it's supposed to.
So, I mean, that's inhibited commerce.
Yeah, we went through that years ago with the trash business here when they.
I know, I was very vocal with that.
You know.
Okay, so what do you need from
They
us,
haven't
Kim?
did it.
I forgot.
So,
Oh,
We're talking about, we're in agreement with Dwayne, he wants to work with Grant Township, okay, I'm good with that.
yeah, so we got on to
But
different
what
subjects,
about, what
but
about the weight limits on roads that aren't set by the road commission?
I'd like to get a copy of the ordinance, maybe, and we can all read it, and maybe that might clarify
Yeah,
a little
I don't
bit.
wanna make a move
think we
on
need
it
to
now.
table that
I think we
myself.
need more discussion.
Is that all right if we table it? But
Oh.
for the interim, because we still have a little time before we have to sign contracts, correct? Did I make a motion to have?
we've done no motion,
No
so we
motion.
just have match money sitting for a correction or a adjustment or whatever you wanna call it.
Mhm.
So we can either table,
Well,
the
no,
old
I
motion?
think it's unfair to table it when we know where we're going on that. I think the only thing we need to talk about is
This is what comes up, is that right?
What we're talking about is the weight limit.
the weight limit. So I wanna make a motion to provide Dwayne the authority at the best interest of the road commission to, work with Grand Township on the matches. That was our only glitch.
okay,
But then we still have some work to do on the 6 ton.
Correct.
and you want that in the motion?
No.
So I'll just put in the minutes that the weight limit portion is
For discussion. in
up
future.
for discussion.
That's right, yes.
Is it something,
I'll
Tim?
second that for you, Kim.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. So I have Tim, then Karen. Is anyone else going to approve that or?
Yes, dear, I'm sorry.
No, it's perfectly okay.
I was trying to find that phone number.
Stay
Bill's
focused.
got
It
secret
is
stuff
okay.
going on over
Yeah.
there.
Stay
It's
focused.
not.
I make sure,
But anyways,
I make sure we're focused, so
I know.
I just need to know,
I heard
is
the
there,
motion.
Don't put that in the minutes.
just a minute, Dave.
is there a third that will, allow Dwayne the authority with match money for 2020?
Yes,
Yes.
And then Merle and Bill? Yes? Okay. And I understand that the weight limit portion or what Dwayne may put in a contract at this moment in time is going to be up for discussion
Correct.
in 2020 and forward.
Correct.
I think it should be an agenda item for the next meeting.
because I don't wanna make any decisions on it.
So I will keep
I mean,
that as old business
I really think
at
we
this
need to
moment.
have this discussion whether we want to or not.
Well, we need to see the ordinance.
Yes. So that's your homework, Bill.
Well,
And
I
just
was trying to
everybody,
do it, but I can't find nothing on their site.
well,
Yeah,
that's
I
the problem. And then so everybody kind of get reviewed up and refreshed up on that, and so we can make
You can always reach out to township board members.
Well, yeah, I can talk to Dan. Like I said, whenever I get on Grant's website, I always
Well, I
use the
just-
MTA thing.
I just think on decisions, a lot of times, I mean, especially this one, we should take some time and know exactly what what we're talking about,
Not only,
because it's confusing. There's road limits, in Grant and the other townships don't. And,
Right.
Well, it's
This-
a good partnership, and I'd like to keep that partnership
yeah,
going.
because
Think
they
think
do.
about it this way too, we're also here for the residents. And just because you don't hear from residents complaining about the 6-ton, doesn't mean you wouldn't get a lot of phone calls in favor of it.
Right.
Obviously, so you have to look, yeah, you get a lot of phone calls, there's some confusion on it, I understand that. You guys haven't read their ordinance, so I think that that's unfair to make a decision, but keep the residents in mind as well that supported the special assessment, because it was contingent on passing with the weight restrictions. So there's that side of the token too that needs to be
But we
thought
need to
about.
study that ordinance a little
Yeah,
bit, so
exactly.
we know.
So just from our side of the table, we represent the whole county, they represent their township, so
Well, sure.
we gotta make it, we gotta
Well, that's what Tim
get
said.
together here.
You know.
This shouldn't affect the gravel project, correct?
No.
Okay.
Right.
And
No.
then, so on the overlay and chip seal projects, which it could affect,
Yes.
at this time, Al's got an agreement with Reith Riley to carry over their prices from last year.
Yep.
And then we've also got an agreement with Farner on chip seal prices.
Yeah.
So Farner's not expected to be in our area until August. Reith Riley won't be back in town until maybe June, but they've got some 2019 work to do prior. So the contracts and everything are pretty much put together. We've already got prices, so to get it out and signed and everything that's easy.
That's
So
no big deal.
so this isn't holding anything up. Like we're ready to go. Once we make a decision, then it's not going to affect any timelines or anything.
one question, Dwayne,
Good,
is
'cause we know-
we've talked about it the last couple of years, is, Reith Riley contracts, strikes, what's the status on that?
Yeah, the strike.
Never
I mean,
ending.
They're non-union.
So
They're-
they're non-union, they went all non-union,
They've already paved over for us.
okay,
Now
So-
they're doing
so-
MDOT work and they're coming back.
so we're not gonna have a strike this year, so.
Correct.
Good.
That's all I need.
Right.
Because we were always concerned, we wanted to
Yeah.
maybe try other contractors and we could have a backup plan, but,
Mhm.
okay. I'm good with that.
So we're all set. That's straightened out now.
Mhm.
That's good. Let's move on. New business. Administration wages, you talking?
Bless you, Donna.
Thank you.
Donna's the girl for that, yeah.
NB number 1. So as I discussed way prior,
Yeah,
my goal was to do one-on-one evaluations with all administrative staff, and then do annual wage raises based on evals, performance type thing.
you will evaluate them. Yeah.
Correct. I wanted to do that like every April annually.
Mhm.
So previously I think there was some gaps in
There
no
was.
evaluations.
Yeah, I think
no,
so. Well,
there
there
was
was.
some.
There was never any evaluations.
Goal was to get on track now. So I've done one-on-one evals with everyone. Those are in their files now.
Good.
And
Good,
then
that's exactly what we need, yeah.
And then is what I did is again looked at the 20 county average and did the averages.
Yeah,
Of,
that's
so and then I know like with the budget being up in the air and not great, so
yeah.
I did minimal on 4 people just because of the situation we're in, and then I felt like 2 people that are very big contributors were quite a bit under the average wages. So
So DJ and Dave are the 2 you're looking at.
yeah.
Can I just make sure, like, Dave now, is his position different than what it was? Like, he's in charge of the whole south end,
Correct. Him and
He's
Eric are theoretically
not
equal.
an assistant
They should be,
anymore.
they should be, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Eric
what it
has
should have
north,
been,
Dave has south. Theoretically, Dave and Eric should be pretty close to equal in pay and stuff.
So
but
they each have
Dave
their own,
missed some.
they each take their own truck and go to their area, they're not riding together.
Correct.
We don't want any of that
Well,
anymore.
that's already been discussed.
Yeah, I'm sure
Okay.
it has. And we discussed it, yeah.
And if a project, gravel project's in their area, they
They
work
oversee
with
that
the,
particular,
yeah, so they're doing like project estimates in their area, they're coordinating work in their area,
but they
emergencies and
still
maintenance
naturally
in their area.
work together. But you're saying that then they should be equal in pay.
Pretty,
Well, he's
or
got it
close, I don't
close.
know. Was Eric
There was a
performing
bunch,
before Dave?
there was a
or-
bunch of steps missed in that interim, right?
I believe so, yes.
So it's gonna take some time to get that
Right.
adjusted.
Like, Dave would get $1.50 an hour, did you see that, Dick? And then Eric
Yeah.
gets 25, like, just to get it closer.
Well, to
but,
get it
you know.
close, yeah.
Some of it have to do with seniority and all, and
No.
kept their time
I
on the
can
job.
I can explain what happened with Dave only because I was
Excuse me,
here
we're
and
gonna do
I
the same thing.
Well, let's just wait,
Okay.
so everybody
Okay.
has.
Wait,
I can
conversation.
explain what happened with DJ and Dave because I was here.
How many people are joining us today? Does it tell
All
you?
right.
There's 8 or
I'll
9
wait till
of them.
Dick is back and then I can explain. Well, I'm not sure if
Al's
you were
probably
here
got
or
3
not
computers.
actually.
Probably knowing him.
I know you were here with DJ. I don't know if you were
Where's
here.
Dave and Eric?
What
Yeah,
happened
where is
with Dave?
Dave.
Bobby.
For his raise.
John Marion.
No, I guess my
It's
question,
from Hayes
I'm
Township.
not even concerned about it.
Well, they wanted, Merle wanted to understand what had happened to the two of them, and I know exactly what happened. What was said to them, one in a meeting,
Oh, okay.
one not in a meeting.
We can't say it. You can.
I can.
We're not at liberty to say certain things.
It is not confidential. Nothing would be.
That
I
one
see
wasn't?
You're showing the wages.
Yeah,
kinda
that has
makes-
to be put in our minutes, actually.
Yeah.
What time is it? About 7 minutes to 10. Oh.
Life's good.
I gotta go to work. I was hoping it was a Zoom meeting today so I could stay at work.
It's nice that you're able to open back up.
I know, especially this week.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Mother's Day week's my busiest.
Okay,
Okay,
so-
so a very quick
Continue.
explanation on DJ. When Stevie was retiring, what was discussed in a board meeting is that we would take the difference between the old foreman's wage and DJ's wage, divide it in half. He would get half now and half later. He never got the second half.
Oh, he did.
This was DJ.
Okay.
This was
Yeah.
DJ. And Dave Bondi was going to be I believe, a 3-year step, and it never happened. And it was in the previous,
Yeah.
like the
that's-
out with the
okay,
old and with
my-
the new, and that never happened.
My concern is take the personalities out of it. If something was promised to somebody,
Mhm.
I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
If they're still employed here, whatever, they're here.
The
Then
promise.
somebody needs to step up and make that right.
Well,
Like they
Dwayne
just
has
did that,
stood
yeah.
up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in full agreement with that.
Uh-huh.
It's a little,
I feel like it is too. I went
now that I know the
conservative,
Yes.
Yeah.
With budget
Well, yeah, with the
concerns right
budget,
now, you gotta think about that.
Absolutely.
but
Makes us
I'm
comfortable that
open
way.
to
That,
changing that.
both of those people, that is what was stated.
Well,
And both of those people being DJ and Dave.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
That's why they're getting,
The little
The buck
bit
and a
more, yeah. I'm comfortable with,
And I
These
think they
numbers.
should. I mean,
uh-huh.
because it was talked about.
But that doesn't
No,
bring them to where,
one thing I think is
And I
missing.
think, Dwayne, you can take it upon yourself if everybody, like, to reevaluate when you think is needed.
well, he's gonna every year.
Uh-huh. But I mean, if you think Dave and DJ need a little whatever,
like in 6
I-
months. You know.
yeah, like if you think, if we can do it.
I think one thing that would be helpful here, I know we have a 20 county average. I don't know what counties those are.
Oh yeah.
so the 20
got
county
charts.
average is
Yeah.
the closest counties
to us.
in our MTF range
Yep.
and miles.
Yep.
And it has been, it gets redone.
Yeah.
I can show you.
I would
can
like
show
to see
you
the
that.
low and the high, just
I can-
for perspective.
Yeah, you
Absolutely.
probably never
We've
seen
got-
it. He
yeah.
probably hasn't seen
I
it.
can email that to
If
you.
we're $10 an hour higher than the low and $10
Well,
lower than the
well,
high.
It's an
I mean,
average.
I just
Let
wanna
me
see
throw
that.
something at you,
Yeah.
Merle, just so you know.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a low and a high.
You can usually kick those out.
Correct, because
And
like
then
for
goes-
instance, Ross
yep.
Common has 3 or 4 people like in Al's position,
Mm-hmm.
so they're a lot lower than Al is, but there's 3 or 4 of them where we only have one,
We
and
have
then
one.
Yeah.
like each office is set up differently,
Mhm.
but I try and kick out the low and kick out the high and still kind of bring it to where it makes sense to, you know, in the
Are the
industry.
dollars about
Yeah.
the same too in the county? I mean,
Correct,
their
yeah.
budgets are
Pretty
about the
much.
same as our
Pretty
budget.
I
Actually,
base
Kim,
it
I
on
actually
MTF.
requested Kim
It's
to
based
make
on the
sure
MTF.
that was,
I make a motion upon Dwayne's evaluations and recommendations that we proceed with the administrative raises as recommended.
Open for discussion.
Open for discussion.
I'm not done
Oh,
talking about it. But
Okay.
no, if you want to
No,
make
it's open
Yeah.
for discussion. We're not, that's what we're here for.
So the other raises, I just want to make sure we're
If you have some questions.
we're
that's
making
good.
cuts of 500,000 this year, right?
Mhm.
And none of that's going to be wages. Is that what we're saying right now?
Correct.
correct.
It's what did you say?
None of that will be in wages. Is
Do you
that
consider
what
overtime wages?
Yeah.
But then yes.
So we're cutting overtime.
Cutting overtime, yes.
we,
Cutting it by what percent, roughly, if you had to guess? Just 20%?
are you talking about our Fridays, Dwayne? Are you gonna cut Fridays altogether this summer? Okay, cause the guys were working Fridays a lot,
Yeah,
and Saturdays at one
and
point.
Saturdays.
And that's where we got in, I think, with prior management over our head. So,
From what I understand it was who wants to work Friday,
mhm.
and then whoever wanted to work came in and they found something to do.
Oh,
So unless there's something that has to be done,
Right, an emergency.
they will work overtime for that. But to put overtime on a project,
Is
in
not
my mind, we should schedule for 40 hours a week and try and get what we can get done in a
Absolutely.
40-hour week. And same with, grading, but if they have to come in and do some grading ahead of a brine operation or something that we
Mhm.
need to do,
Has to be.
we will. But to just say, who wants to work Friday or Saturday, that's where I'm cutting.
Well,
Yeah.
good, I'm
Good.
glad,
That's
that's good,
When I
because
was
that,
doing projects,
Right.
the only overtime I got was when the trucks were here hauling to me. Like if fishing
Right.
came in, I
Yeah,
stayed a
that's-
couple hours later,
Right.
they did. I worked their hours.
yes, that,
well,
yeah.
here's the
My-
thing,
That changed
One
that
more
whole
point
level.
on that.
and Dwayne, this is true, under the other management, that wasn't a factor. I mean, hey, work, just come in, and so the foreman had no choice. I mean, yeah, come on in Fridays, or come,
Yes.
there's no control on it, so
No, we-
Dwayne's getting the
And
handle
that
on it.
wasn't it.
Our,
yeah,
la-
that
our
wasn't shared
2020
with
labor
you.
budget is 4.1 million, but like last year was 3.8, the year before was 3.4. So if we get this budget at 4.1 down to a 3.7,
Then we're in the
that's
right
400,000
direction.
that out of the
You think that's possible?
470,000.
It is
That's
possible.
right.
Is it possible and still get the projects done? That's the other concern.
Depends
It's
on whether-
possible. It's aggressive.
Okay.
But
But
if
it's
you probably get
possible.
to the
But
point
anything
where you
can
need
happen.
a few Fridays, then it's there. But we're not doing it every
When the
single week.
MTF starts,
Mhm.
when we start feeling like we're not losing, like
Mhm.
when the money starts getting back maybe on track, hopefully, and things start, then yes, come August, then
Yeah.
maybe we can start jamming
Yeah, I
a little
think-
bit.
I think we'll let you handle that program. See, there's cases in any line of work. I mean, say for instance, we get a month that it's just the weather is against us. We can't
Right.
get this done, can't get that done.
Right.
Well, then when you can, you may have to use over. That's
Right.
where common sense comes in.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm happy with that.
You happy, Merle?
I'm
Good with the wages.
happy with the answers that we got, and I think you're gonna cut the wages, you're gonna be under budget on wages is what you're
That's
hoping
my,
for.
yeah.
That's your goal.
yeah.
Well,
So,
that's our goal, that's our goal.
Yes, I'm happy.
Okay,
Thank you.
Do I have to say that again?
Nope, I have
Okay,
your information started,
read it to us.
that you want to, make the motion to proceed as recommended with Dwayne's information. I'll be-
Upon his, one-on-one evaluations with admin staff.
Okay.
I'm good.
I'm good.
I'll second it, Kim.
Okay.
I was waiting for somebody else.
I understand, but I don't care who's talking.
Okay, so then who will be next? Just say your name.
Dick?
Next?
Yes.
Merle, you're good? Bill?
Oh, yes.
Can we pause for a public comment?
Yep.
Yes.
From John Marion. March 4th meeting, I asked Dwayne to supply me with a study for Mostetler Road, having the capacity to handle large volume of gravel train traffic.
That has not been looked at yet, because I think we discussed, doing like, having to do soil borings and things like that. And at this time, I believe the gravel pit thing is not in the near future. So, I can still do that. But I know the bridge is restricted on Mostetler as well. So, to me, that's more of a determining factor, but it just takes some engineering to be done, and now that I have the engineer as needed contract, and then we have an engineer on board, and then once we get through the COVID thing where he can come to our office, then that is something we could have evaluated then, but.
As far as I know, that gravel pit thing's kind of been tabled a little bit. I think they're still waiting on that Senate bill, and that's stalled.
And that's
Committee,
installed,
so-
Yeah, that might be a while now.
It might be a while, right?
But we're glad to work with Mr. Marion if he comes in.
Correct, yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You ready, Malone?
No.
Okay. We move on here to chip and seal extension.
Okay, so you have Farner's letter,
Yeah,
basically just stating that they have extended their price.
Excuse me.
Yes.
John Marion also commented, this is coming up on our next planning meeting.
It's fine,
Planning commission meeting.
I'm sure.
what's that?
He's bringing it up at Hayes Township's next planning meeting, I guess, and so
He would
it's
like
just a
that
statement essentially,
information.
right? Oh, he'd
Yeah.
like it for the next meeting?
Yeah.
Well,
But it's taken for,
it's not gonna
you
happen
need
with
the
the
guy to
COVID.
come in to,
Right.
yeah, it's
We'll
gonna
get it.
have to stall
We'll get
until
it.
all the COVID stuff.
We'll
so
get
we
it
can
when
get
this-
those.
Well, I think he wants to study
When,
results.
when is his, can you type back and not mess it up? I'll email, John, I'll email you after the meeting and I will get what I can get. I'll get more information on your meeting date and, see what I can do prior to that.
Gotta think.
Well,
I try to think enough it happens sometime. That's local, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I didn't core that road back in 2016. I cored everything primary, but not local.
Yeah, it's a local one.
Farner chip seal, that's the same price as last year.
No.
Probably not.
What is the price versus last year? Do we know that?
I do not, I just have this letter from Al to bring to
Well, it
you.
said they're extending 2019's price.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
is
what
it
it says.
2019?
So,
Yeah, it's 2019.
2018.
Where does it
Alright.
say?
Standard price
$1.65
based
per
on
year.
sales and reviewed anticipation.
I'm sorry, I
we're-
misspoke.
we're-
I'm
okay,
sorry.
so it's the same, okay.
Oh, yeah, right here, yeah.
So what do you need from us?
I need a motion to accept the bid extensions from Farner.
I'll make that.
I'll second it.
Okay,
Tim's in.
okay.
Bill's in.
And Karen?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we'll move on to number 3.
Okay. So Reeve Riley is the exact same thing. They have offered their 2019 information.
Yeah,
John Marion said, okay, waiting to hear from you. Thank you.
New business number 3 is the same exact thing as prior with Farner. They have offered, and you have the letter,
yeah,
for bid extension from their 19 prices into the new 20 prices, and that they will complete 2019 first, and then anything with 20 same prices, and they would complete that after.
I'll make the motion, we accept it.
Okay.
I'll
Second?
second
Yes, Tim.
yes,
it. Yes.
okay. Number 4.
Brand Avenue Bridge.
Yeah, do we have any information on that here?
No,
No,
I
okay.
should have, actually. We have 2 bridges.
This is Brand, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
So we have 2 bridges on the critical list, Brand and Mostetler.
Yes.
MDOT extended the application for bridge replacement or rehab until June 1st.
Yeah.
And this will be for 2023.
Okay.
So
2023.
yes.
Is that the bridge just north of the farm on Brand? I'm sure that's the one.
I'm
What
not
township?
sure. Arthur Township.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Just north of the farm. Brand farm.
I would like to apply for funding to replace that bridge for 2023. So I just needed a motion. I can write a letter based on our motion from this board meeting to include in the packet, because the packet has to include everything about the bridge, pictures, like everything, but also include a motion from our board for approval.
One little question, how much funds are in that critical bridge fund? And why are we not doing Mostetler as well?
Money, there are funds in there. This will go to the Bridge Council for their voting, so the better I make it look. And we haven't had one in several years, so I think it's going to be good for us in that respect.
Just to go with one.
Well, I was thinking of going with 2, but I'm working with Pam from Michigan Works for a grant through Eagle to do the Mostetler Bridge using some recycled products. So that was kind of where I was at. And then the other bridges we have, I was thinking about putting together a package for maintenance. Like, you can bundle them for epoxy overlays and stuff, but I don't think we're ready for that yet. And I'd rather just focus on the 2 critical bridges
Get the
right
bridges
now. But
in, yeah,
Okay, I'm good.
sounds good.
I'll make a motion if you need it.
I'll second it.
Tim, yes?
Yes, Dick,
Bill, yes.
If you're actually writing like a resolution of some sort, would you just make sure you give me a copy, and then I'll put it behind the minutes, please?
Alright, I'll show you I got an example.
MTF, new business number 5, we kind of included that into the old. I mean, it really all is one and the same, so
so,
it's just informational. I don't think we need to repeat
We
it
don't
if you're
need-
all
okay.
good with that.
yeah, I crossed that off, okay, alright.
Dwayne, number
Employee.
6, you had asked me to put on the agenda to just discuss. We had kind of talked about it at the last
Grant writer,
meeting.
yeah.
An employee for grant writing purposes. All of us had discussed it. I'm not sure where that was on our Zoom meeting. Not sure
Yeah.
where we
That
want
we
to
need somebody.
proceed or how you want to.
Tim had suggested.
Well, I suggested it here at the last meeting, last time we talked, or last Zoom meeting actually, that there's a lot of funds available right now, and it might be very beneficial to the people of Clark County that if we employed somebody, yes, it would cost $60,000 to employ them, but we could
Save
get
that
$1
money.
million windfall if we had someone.
And then you had discussed Pam, so that's kind of
Well,
where
right
we
now-
Pam at
right.
Michigan Works.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were working with her, you was Tara or somebody you interviewed?
No.
It was somebody,
just
yeah.
this
Who was
person.
that girl we interviewed
We interviewed.
But,
Oh,
for the
right.
for the
But-
manager position?
but Pam is working with you on a grant for.
Bridges.
So you have it as specific, right? Which.
Well, she does. She's also writing one for USDA for our radios for the
Yes.
trucks.
Yeah,
And then there is another Eagle one I'm gonna write for a different thing.
So you're happy that you're capturing some of the funds, or trying it?
I'm trying to. I haven't yet, but I feel
Okay.
So are you feeling we still need someone?
but we're working on
I
it.
feel good with Pam. I just haven't
Okay.
seen a finished product yet because we just got started. I mean, we haven't submitted one yet. But the due dates are coming up.
Well, I'd go that way then, and see,
I
Yeah,
guess what she ends up
then we'll know.
providing us,
Yeah.
because it's not through Michigan Works. She also works. Do you know where that?
No, she writes grants within
The county.
Clare County.
But she's employed through Michigan Works?
Yes.
And
Okay.
she's a wonderful person, so I'm.
Pam,
Yes,
what's
and
your
it's
name?
no cost to us.
McLaughlin.
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 It's no cost to us for
Right,
her to do
right,
this.
right. So that's
That's huge.
it's a cost benefit.
Like
there.
for the USDA one, she's been working with Jerry Becker
Uh-huh.
to get info.
For
Like
the
there's
radios?
like certain things that we need to put on the grant application
Yeah.
that she gets from Jerry, so she's been working, and
Perfect.
she seems to be a great
Well, yeah, just keep us
contact
posted.
for the whole
and
county.
If we
so.
need somebody, we need somebody. If we can use Pam, that's more beneficial.
Yeah.
And I do believe because of this COVID, it slowed everything down.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh, we got,
Yeah.
you got that right.
Except Amazon.
It's slowing them down getting to you though.
I know. That's my
Okay,
2-day crime.
She
Let's
also set up
move on
that
here to,
employee reimbursement
correspondence,
of 50%.
Construction. Oh yeah.
construction, 2020 construction map.
So, Mandy.
Yeah.
Did this map, created this map, and she
Yeah.
just asked that I put this,
So we all
I
have,
emailed it to you, but again, I don't know what it would look like.
Is she our intern?
Yes.
Oh, I haven't seen her. Met her
Looks
yet,
good.
I guess. All right.
So I provided a hard copy for you as well.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Yes. I assumed if it's on a phone, that would not be good.
Yeah.
That's how I would be looking at it as well.
so this is the 2020 construction.
Yes, now I know she did tell me that when we were talking about certain projects,
Yeah.
she didn't have a couple of projects that I was talking about, so I will give her a copy of some information that I had that she didn't have. So the map obviously will be updated. So,
Yeah, as long as we change the date, we know we're working with the most recent version, we can throw the other one away.
So this is, yeah,
Date in the bottom right corner, so.
yeah.
She's also gonna work on. She's putting together a map of all our bridges. I'm gonna have her start. Actually, she's out today. We're gonna start doing a culvert inventory. She'll build a map of that, and then she's also gonna build a map for each individual township. So we
Good.
can show. We can provide townships with information like maybe their
for
road
their
ratings
particular townships.
and stuff like that. So
Gates are
trying to
heavy.
be more visual. Yeah.
Does she have that old study I did?
So there'll be individual maps. That's
I
good.
marked a lot of colors. Counted a
We
lot
do
of
have
culverts.
something, but if you want to talk to her, that would be helpful.
I counted culverts.
I
when I
think
did
it's in the S drive.
It is.
It
It's
says
a
it.
bill.
Yep.
when I was doing that core sample that year from Quebec, I counted culverts when I
Yeah,
did it, so I located them.
It is in there, I've
So-
seen it.
I don't know when they were, I didn't have a year when they were put in, but
oh, I
At least
see.
Yeah, we don't have the year, but
yeah.
she's actually going to go out. She's going to get GPS coordinates,
Oh, okay.
and so we can record that.
Good.
And then she's going to take a bunch of pictures, make notes of like an inspection,
I measured
and
them
then
with
get a length
you
and a
know.
diameter, right?
We'll show you the folder that Bill's talking
Are
about.
those,
Or we can show her, whatever.
And I've got it still got it on my computer if it's not in your S drive.
I know it's there. Well,
Yeah,
Donna
I've
and I
seen it.
both seen it, so, yeah.
But if you need a map, if anything ever comes up and you want a map for something or some kind of visual, we have.
Yeah.
She's capable of providing those services, so.
Okay,
The CRA, legislative priorities,
Yeah.
I emailed to you.
Yeah.
Bill asked for a hard copy, so I got him that, and it's just basically for your information
okay,
from CRA.
alright,
I didn't give you a hard copy, I emailed it to everyone,
I got.
and then just asked if
I was
anybody
special.
wanted. No.
Can you send me one just so I have a hard copy?
Well, now he wants to be special.
Yes.
Or print it.
There was
I wanna be a
information I
specialist
wanted to
too.
copy and to hand out to the townships when I went.
Yeah.
This one, that's why I was.
I did email it to everyone and asked if anyone wants a hard copy, let me know. Bill did.
I'm letting you know.
Okay. Is it at the next board meeting okay? You want me to mail? Okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
No rush.
we will move on to miscellaneous, I guess there's nothing, huh?
I don't know.
Is there any?
Not that I'm aware of.
I'm good.
On my side.
Okay, then down to staff reports, if we got any,
Staff or commissioners?
well, no, staff right now.
You're next, Bill.
Looking at me, that's why I thought I was guilty.
I can talk about Michigan. Michigan Works,
Oh,
Dwayne, got with Pam and we set up a program for our temporary workers that they pay us 50% of their wages while they're working for us. It's called on-the-job
Oh,
training.
is that right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So only one temp qualified. We did bring back Kelly Russell from previous years. But yeah, so it's working out pretty good. I just submitted my first bill.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So from Al, we've got roughly 10 miles of asphalt paving to complete this year. We've got 1 mile done, which was Dover. We got 32 miles on the books for chip and fog. He's got some skip patches, wedging, in some areas that he's gonna get done this year. Line striping, we're gonna probably keep to a bare minimum line stripe the jobs we pave, but other than that,
Yeah.
minimal. Shoulder
Who's
gravel,
gonna do the striping, the same company we usually have?
I believe so, PK, I believe, yeah. Shoulder gravel, we discussed it, we had a staff meeting yesterday. We're gonna cut that off our budget. Off here, Kim had us down for $140,000 for shoulder gravel. So we're crossing that off the budget. I talked to Eric and Dave, they're gonna have the grader guys pull in as much as they can what's existing. And if there is anything that's deemed like really bad, we'll pull the gravel from our maintenance gravel pile that we've already bought, and then we'll just do it with our own forces. So that's the plan there. He's looking into our 2021 road program, so I'd like him to get ahead on that more than we've been. And the Vandecar Road, it's actually been stressing me out, but we just received yesterday in the mail the final easement for property on the project, so I believe things will still fall into place, so.
You're talking about the bridge?
Mhm.
Yeah. That's from Al. And then from Dave and Eric, 3 townships, Hayes, Garfield, and Winterfield, have already set up for brining.
Well,
Next
Today.
I think that'll be coming soon.
They're already starting, so they've been grading
Good.
to get ahead of the brining already. He's starting to mark out berms in Arthur Township for berming. He spoke to Carl Parks, drain commissioner, last Thursday, and he needed our help. So we're draining the Dodge City Lake.
Right,
For
oh, is
him?
that
Oh,
right?
really?
Apparently it's
Dodge
an annual
Lake.
thing.
Pardon me?
Dodge Lake, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the pump's been down there running,
Pumping over in the sand.
yeah, the overflow. So he's been helping them.
On that note, are we compensated for that?
We're not,
My question
the county?
is, and
well, it's a drain commissioner.
It's
I'm
Yale
just
County.
curious because we got people out there and equipment out there, and they have funds there. How we do that? How's that work?
I think we just work together as
Well,
government.
I'm glad you do.
Yes.
But
I think we do not.
No,
okay,
but
you don't
it's-
have an agreement,
It's all county.
so
It doesn't get out of hand, does it?
No, Jason on the way to the project and on the way home, he
starts
fills
and
it up.
stops.
It runs
24/7.
nonstop, but he fills it up in the morning, and then on his way home, he fills it up again.
I don't think it's a piece of equipment that is in need here
No,
at the
it's
moment.
no.
Correct.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's their pump. It was, unless we, something different.
I think it's our
For
pump.
now, at one time they had their own, and we
They
just
had,
ran.
they had their own at one
And we
time.
ran.
Yeah.
You know,
I thought it was our
Okay,
equipment,
so
but
it's some
I couldn't
change.
be.
Maybe we just take turns buying the pump.
yeah,
Right.
You know, that's the way it did, when we did Bertha Lake, it was their pump and we ran it.
Oh, you did run it. Okay. Well, I just wanted to throw that out there. Do your best.
Scott's been on Adams Road pulling stumps. They sent him over to Ridge and Ball, East Long Lake, and Frost
You
Township
did a
to
lot of
pop
work on Adams. That was
stumps there. And then once he's done there, he's gonna go to Long Lake and Summerfield and start popping stumps
What's he
there.
popping stumps with?
The new excavator. And then he's got Ed set up. He's gonna work. He's calling Fisher to get limestone so we can get started in Lake of the Pines, putting limestone down there. Ed'll be doing that. And then Jason's been on Meredith grade. He's currently ditching. Hopefully soon set up for gravel. And then we can move Jason off Meredith grade onto the next one and get our gravel operation going there. So we've got things started and rolling.
Dwayne, can you email me copies of those just so next week I can write an article and have some information so I don't have to bug the guys? Just forward that to me and I'll sum it up and I'll get some stuff from you.
Good.
Newspaper.
Good.
Okay, is there any more report? Okay, we'll go to commissioner reports. I'll start with you.
I got a couple short items. I got a note for Dwayne here. The culvert at Oakman and Fur is maybe plugged. The Township Park culvert right there on Fur is also plugged. So there was a drainage issue there last week when we had all the rain. It flooded.
Where was that at?
At East Oakman and Fur, that cross culvert in the intersection, and at the Hayes Township Park, that culvert. Somebody ran over the end of it, smashed it. Looked like during the winter. And there's also no line painted on Stockwell east of Old 27 to Grant, where they did that chip seal last year. That never got striped. And sometime when you feel comfortable, I'd like to take you for a tour to the Tonkin Drain and meet Mr. Dysinger. He wants to discuss that with us.
What drain?
What
The
drain?
Tonkin Drain. It crosses on
Is
Rogers.
that our drain or
It's
No.
the Carl Parks. It's
Yeah.
a county drain, but we took some tubes out apparently.
We did that last year, right?
I'm not sure, and they're not handling the water
Where's that at, Bill?
on Rogers.
I think we took them out 2 years ago.
Dysinger?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. He wants to discuss that. He's cool with it. He just wants to give you some information on it. When you feel comfortable doing a ride around, give me a jingle and I'll head you out there.
Okay.
How do you spell that?
But
Like Tungan? Like
Tonkin.
Okay.
It's one of the county drains. Only 2 or something like that.
Speaking of that, not to interrupt, but Eberhard is it the tobacco drain?
Yes,
Big,
Yeah.
big project?
yes.
Oh, yeah.
I got plans from Spicer Group, who's the engineer for the Drain Commission working on that project.
Yeah.
And we have where it crosses Eberhard, they're replacing that culvert.
Yeah.
But it's gonna end up being a bridge when they're done, cause it's gonna be
Yeah.
like 26 feet long.
Yeah.
So they sent me the plans for the bridge. I made some comments from my end as far as what I wanted to see on them. So I'm assuming he'll update them and then send them back to me. So it sounds like I'll need maybe an approval from you, our board,
Yeah.
to move,
To
just to
move
have for their
forward.
file.
Make it, Dick.
Yeah.
No, I'll get maybe put that on the agenda.
Okay.
Once I get the revised
Oh,
plans
I see.
back,
Okay.
those will be maybe in hopefully the next
That's right
packet.
down by the wastewater treatment plant, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Do you know what township that's in?
Grant.
Grant.
That's Grant Township, yeah, still.
That's all I had,
Tim?
just some call.
Dick, everything's beautiful. The
Okay,
roads are pancake flat. They've never been better.
they're good, yeah.
So I'm good.
No traffic on them, they should be.
You need to come to my house. I never seen this big.
It's getting back to normal on my
I'm
drive
good.
home.
Okay, you're good.
I'm good. I have a question for these guys though. Did you have to
Well,
put
go
in to
ahead.
run?
Yeah.
And then, are you guys both, what's your terms?
Mine's 6.
4,
4, and then we have a third,
2.
2
Yeah,
people
it was in the
always running
paper.
There's a
for
2, a
Dick
4,
for
and
the
a 6.
6.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering how, now, I know Dave Coker put in for it. Do you know anybody else?
Terry Acton and Max Shaw,
Yeah,
or Shunk are running for the 2-year term. Myself and a gentleman named Colt Davis is running for the 4.
4
and then somebody.
Steve Graves, Merle Harmon, Dave Coker,
for the
and
6.
Hoffling.
and
Young
Christopher
Hoffling,
Hoffman
Chris.
are running for the 6.
I know the
Yeah.
last name.
Okay. Oh, you guys
There's
are.
There's
ano-
quite a
there's
few
another
running.
name.
Yeah, fun.
You're missing a name. Terry Acton is somewhere.
He's
I
in,
did
he's
say that,
in
he's
okay.
in the 2-year term.
2 year, and
And
that's
the
yours,
Terry and
Bill?
Max Shaw.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I missed the
No, he's
Terry.
four.
No, Bill's
Terry
4.
and
Bill's
Max.
4.
Yeah, Terry and Max.
So the
2
two
would
would-
replace
Yeah.
Dick, basically.
I thought that was the 6.
It is
Six.
Well,
6.
It is,
The
but
6 replaces Dick.
See there, take 6.
Yeah,
All
see that?
All right. Wow.
Uh,
It just
But that's quite a list, isn't
Yeah,
it?
there's quite a few people.
It's
it
running.
got quite popular that
There's some-
spot.
There's some good people on there too. So
Yeah.
There is. Good luck, guys.
Do you know who, which Shunk?
Max.
It's Lee's
So
brother.
it's
isn't it?
Lee's, I think Max is older than Lee.
Yeah, it's his brother.
Byron, all the Shunks down there.
Okay.
He's a good guy.
We wondered if it was a son through.
No,
the-
Max.
I think it's his brother.
It's
Okay.
his brother.
Wow.
Max is probably.
I get people texting me to endorse them, so, but I haven't had. I've had
That's
one
another
road
question I was
commissioner
gonna
one,
ask
but I'm
you
like,
is,
I don't even know what I'm getting into with
Which
this.
Henry? Old Mike or young Mike?
Old Mike. I say old Mike. He's
Yeah.
he's
Younger than I am.
He's younger than me.
Yeah. I just didn't
Very
know. I just
interesting.
see Mike.
This place got really popular really quick,
Yeah,
didn't
there's a
it?
lot of people running for all the positions around the county, and there's some really good people running.
Are you guys gonna work the
there's
parades?
optimism.
There
All
is
that
some
good
big-
stuff.
If there is parade.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know what the new normal is anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't.
You're gonna have to
Figure
spray.
it out.
You're gonna have to throw hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So.
did you have anything else?
I just got an email actually since we've been here from Dave Bile at Garfield.
Dave, yeah?
It says, I wanted to let you know that our board has decided to proceed for damages. Our first step will have our attorneys send out a letter to them. I have also been in contact with Toppings, last name, the neighbors, and they are
Yeah.
going in line with us. Don't know exactly how. They wanted to wait to see what the road commission had to say.
Well.
I decided against attending the meeting due to the issues going on. Don't need more people than we have to, Dave.
We're talking about the
That
easement in the
part,
park.
whatever it is.
I
So-
talked.
Oh,
I
okay.
Cold Springs.
It gets off all those trees.
Okay.
So
I can email him. So I talked to is Gay Toppings.
don't know the first name. I'd have to look back.
I wrote it down.
I'll forward this to everybody.
Dave's been the main person. I talked to her. Dave went out Tuesday or Monday this week and staked out our right of way through that section to the park because I told her we would do that. She was super happy about that. I said, right now we'll stake the right of way. And so you guys can visually see where you can walk to the park.
Yeah.
And she has a landscaper that has offered to donate his time to put steps in to get to the park.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to be part of that, but I told her to not do that yet because I'm still waiting. I've emailed Mr. Simmons about the situation because I talked to him last year. He doesn't seem to have a problem. So when I can, I'd like to get the permit from him, and if he's going to do more work there, then I told her, let me figure that out, once we get through May, June, whenever he's back. If he's going to do more work there, let him do that in our right away once he gets a permit, and then if she wants to have that guy come and put steps in, and she was happy with that plan, so I think there's more beyond us that
Just
Sounds like
where it shouldn't be in any lawsuit part of the thing.
Yeah, I
so
know.
Keep working on it, Dwayne. Keep
Yep.
working.
You don't think
I'm
there's
glad we
any
hired him.
repercussion here?
Trying to resolve it. Maybe we should put it on the agenda for next month, just so that it's in our face and reminds us that we need to stay on top of that. So let's, I would suggest that.
That sounds good.
The other thing, and I mentioned it at the March meeting, and I think it was misunderstood or I wasn't clear, which is fine. I know we all been busy. But I'd like to see the hot spots that we talked about, and that was one of them, Cold Springs. The other ones were Mosteller Road, which we talked about. I'd like to see those on the agenda. Harding Road in Lincoln, and a quicklime update on Arthur Township, if we have one yet.
Harding Road, we did a final inspection that tightened up. Our complaints are gone on
Okay.
that, so
That was a done deal.
so we
Township.
Kim, I believe, was gonna build the township to that one.
Okay.
And then
Both Harding and Surrey.
Surrey, right? I think we have some seeding to do or something yet. I thought, but the road wise, it cleared up. We cleaned it up. Quicklime we did on Monroe Road in Arthur Township.
How's that working out?
And
It seems good. It in the worst of time, it helped.
Well, I drove out
And now
there the
that-
other day when we had 2.5 inches of rain,
Yeah,
and it held up.
really.
Good.
Yes,
Nice.
on top of Beach
that's
Farm.
huge.
Because
Yeah.
There.
And it held up nicely. I mean, and it's funny because you guys spread it there. I don't know how far you spread it, but you can see where you missed a spot, where it's spongy, but
Yeah,
it was nice.
But this was that new,
yeah. So
Concept.
we have a stockpile in the salt barn right now of it.
I didn't get a price on that. How expensive is it?
$175 a ton.
A ton?
How much did
Yeah.
it cost you to do that section?
We used
I thought you only used
3 trucks. We used like 18 ton maybe for, I think it was like a half mile section. But is what we've concluded basically is I had ordered 200 ton, but we stopped that order. So we only spent,
12,000.
okay. And we still have 30 ton, I think, in storage. So Dave and Eric are aware, but luckily we've dried up. But if we get a spot that just
Yeah.
turns to really bad to the point where we're gonna close the road, we'll use the line.
Yeah.
Other than that, we're not gonna do like a whole mile stretch and stuff like that.
And
So,
just friendly reminder, Lincoln was, hey, we'll take it, we'll pay for it and all of that. But at this point, you don't see any reason for quicklime on Harding.
no, not on Harding. No,
It did lay down nice.
All right.
you checked it. I haven't, but
I
Eric-
did Stockwell.
I've been
And I-
across it.
it's good.
It was set down. I wasn't real happy with the ditching. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
But the road was set
Well,
down.
did it get some ditching at all or not? Was there ditching, you said?
Well, I don't like the back slope.
Oh.
Straight up and down, it's sagging off and
All right.
plugging bottom of the ditch.
And
No, it's just my,
one other
something
thing,
different totally.
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
Road's hard.
Lincoln and Grant were curious about the billing, and I know the Lincoln one was you weren't billing them until the project was
I
done.
have approval for both of the Surrey and
Baker?
Harding and
I made
whatever
her.
those two roads are.
I
I
gave
have
some
approval to
COVID
bill
weight,
those,
but not much.
and all the other receivables I'm working on them right now. Dwayne looked at them. Al gave me numbers for everything else,
Okay,
and I will be working on those.
great.
And,
Thanks.
and
I'm
moving,
in the process right now. I'm so sorry, Dwayne.
no, you're alright. Moving forward, we do have a new billing system. That reminds me. Do you have that estimate for approval here?
For a billing system,
No, for Dover. Unless we do that next time.
an estimate for help me out.
No, remember I did the estimate for the paving in Dover. And then I guess that would be a part of the accounts payable. No, or the bills.
They approved it in the bills.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
so I should probably explain a little bit because it's a little different.
They did approve?
Yeah, it's
We
part of the bill,
It's in there.
$76,000.
Okay, good, okay, yep.
Do you want me to
Got your
explain
money.
or leave it alone?
We'll do it next time,
Okay,
Okay.
under control.
Yeah, we
it's
got
under
it.
control.
Now I just have one thing.
Yes.
On our next meeting, it's gonna be the 20th, right? For the third Wednesday.
Mhm.
Will we have it here,
Yeah,
like we're doing now?
if the stay-at-home order gets lifted on the 15th, as it's supposed to,
Yeah,
we'll open it back up.
we'll open it
But are
back
we
up.
gonna have the regulations on people sitting so close together? We're gonna have to watch that, cause they're not gonna let those seats all filled up. We're gonna have to
Enter your
see
own
how it
risk.
goes.
They might have meeting restrictions yet, how many
That's just
people, that kind of
it.
Yeah,
stuff.
but
You just
anyway-
don't know.
It's
You don't know.
fluent because I'm like whatever the governor does,
Yeah,
we'll follow those.
That's right. But my question is, we'll have our regular meeting here at
Correct.
We're gonna have a meeting, we just don't know if there's gonna be
If
people.
it's open for the public, I mean, you guys, you know
Correct.
that. Okay, that's all.
They will be present.
I do have a question, Merle. You had said to add the agenda items. I did hear what you said and I do remember it, just so you know. I don't want you to think I forgot. My question to the board, because we had zero discussion on it. Do you want to make a change? Do you want to wait to discuss it next meeting? Do you want me to do it as an attachment?
I talk about the new business.
No, he wanted it to keep it as items
Old business.
until they're completed. Do you want me to make a second page?
No, I just go on to old business, if you have,
Yeah,
room,
we
if
can
they
just
want
discuss
stuff in
if
old
we need
business,
to.
just flip it in there,
Okay, so we're probably gonna start getting to a 2-page,
that's fine,
and I'm okay with that, but I wanted to clarify it.
that's fine.
Okay,
Smaller font
That'll
if
work.
necessary.
I can absolutely, I can adjust to do whatever you'd like.
Yes. I just wanna keep it a friendly reminder for all of us.
Okay, is there anything else, anybody? Meeting adjourned.
Alright, Merle,
What time is it?
navigate that site for
I know, I
Ten
tried.
thirty-seven.
I just wonder what number you want.